Hope everybody's been having a great week. We'll give us just a couple of minutes to get started. All right. Well, happy Friday. I hope you're up for some fun crafty shenanigans. I am Shannon Smith. I am the inspiration team director from BrutusMonroe, and I am really excited to create with you tonight. I have a fun project that I've been dying to try, so let's play with that tonight. Trying to think if there's anything else I should mention before then. I will tell you that there is an inspiration team call out right now. So if you are interested in being a part of the inspiration team, then go ahead and go to the website, and there will be information there so that you can also find it on Facebook and Instagram so that you can apply. All right. It looks like we've got some people on now. Are you ready for me, Darren?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch camera views so that you can see what we're working on. And we will go from there. Hi, Penny. Okay, let's see. Forgive me for the little whirlwind there. I think I've got you in the right spot. Just going to wait and see if the tablet's got you in the right place. And it looks like we're good. Okay. Might move us over just a little bit. Okay, so today I thought it would be fun. This weather is just everything cozy is what I want right now. I want the hot chocolate. I want the apple cider. I want, all of those things that are just those fall things that just are comfort. And one of my favorite things anyway, any time of year, are s'mores. And so I thought it would be fun to make a little s'mores kit today. So we are going to do that. We are going to use, of course, the Simply Sweet, because I pull this out for almost every project I do because it is so versatile. Love it, love it, love it. And we will also be using the S'more Fun stamp set. And I want to thank Darren, by the way, for moderating and everything that he does. He's so wonderful. I appreciate him so much. But he is going to put up a link, and it will give you a link to everything that we'll be using tonight. And so I did put the dies up, even though I won't be using them tonight. I don't actually have those. And then Baked Fresh, the paper collection. And this is, I know I don't have, I did print that off. Okay, so we have the occasional tags die set, and we'll be using some of that as well. So I say we just get started so that we have plenty of time. So the first thing,
Hi.
Who did?
Candy.
Hi, Candy. I should probably get some more hellos out of there right away. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, and I've shown you this trick before, but I want to show it to you again in case you haven't seen it. So I'm using this die from the Simply Sweet die set. And you can do what I'm doing with any of the border dies probably. I haven't tried it with the swirly one. I'm not sure what that would do, but I've tried it with both of these, and I'll show you what we're going to do. So I'm going to put the bag through the die. It's tricky not to catch everything.
Hi. Sorry to call you live.
Oh, hi, Jana. Thanks for joining. Okay, so now I'm going to flip it up so that this side is down further, because we're not going to slide it through the machine all the way because we don't want to cut, we don't want to have that big crease. So we have to kind of feel our way through this. Let me just show you what I mean. So I am going to throw this on my machine. And I want to make sure I've got it pretty even. I don't want it to be a crooked line. So I'm going to use the little grid on my mat. But you could draw a line. You can do whatever. You can set it up ahead of time. And I think I've got that just about. It's pretty close. Pretty close. So I'm going to go ahead and tape that where I want it. Okay, and then I'll put my other plate on there. And if you're off a little bit, it's not going to be like a really serious thing. And also, you need to go this way. I just about totally went opposite of what I wanted to do. So notice I'm not going to go all the way through, and you kind of have to listen. And you can kind of feel it. So when you're doing this, you'll be able to feel in your machine, unless it's automatic, you might not be able to. And even if you get that crease, it's not, you know, it's not the end of the world. We can work with that. Okay, see, I went all over. So we can see it's not too bad, the crease. And what we're gonna do next, so now we've got a bag with a fancy edge on it, right? And these are just lunch bags. I wanted to use something that you would have in your house just to make a quick and fun treat that you can send to your neighbors or coworkers. Okay. So let me get that out of the way. Okay, so you can see we've got our cute little top. And this is all I was talking about, that crease, but you're not going to see that because the next step is that we're going to fold that over. So let's fold ours. I'll use my grid so I kind of get a straight line. We'll fold it up to, do I want it that far? I think so. I think I'll fold it to this line. So I'm folding it like maybe 2 1/4 inch. And again, this is just kind of eyeballing it. It's not like you don't have to go exactly by those measurements. That's just what I'm choosing to do. Play with it and see what you like doing. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my crease tool to just make a nice crease in there. Now the next part, you just have to take your time with, because what we're going to do is we are going to fold it so that it has like a cuff around the top. So we are going to kind of push in where we've got the crease, and it's okay if your paper is wrinkly. You'd rather have a wrinkle in it than a tear in it. So wrinkle it up if you need to get it to go. See, mine's completely wrinkly, and that's okay, because we can work that out. It's easier to work with that than, like I said, a rip. So take your time, do it slow, and then just kind of pull it up by that. You'll be able to feel where you've creased it. Okay, there we go. And you can just kind of recrease the edges a little bit. So, paper bags were meant to be crunchy anyway, don't you think? So there is the base of what we're doing, okay? And if you want it to be a little less deep, you can definitely make it have either, you can cut it down lower or you can just fold it over further, okay? But I would suggest you don't want to fold it over too far because we need room, because we're going to put a little decoration on the front of our bag, okay? So I think I'll do that next. I'm just going to fold in my bag so that I can work on it a little easier. We could actually just do it on this side, and that would cover up the crease too. So let's just do that. I don't think it matters. So I've cut this piece of cardstock to, I believe, 5. Let me just double check myself. Yes, I cut it to a 5 square, and I'm just going to tuck that up underneath my cuff there, okay? So that is important. You need to have enough cuff that you can kind of push it underneath so it looks finished. And I think I'm just going to use glue today. Is everybody ready for Halloween? Anyone doing anything fun this weekend to celebrate? We're doing a trunk or treat at our church tomorrow, so that should be fun.
I think Ben is the most ready one in the house.
Benji is very excited. He is going as Snape. And he is pretty stoked about it. Okay. So I just kind of left a little bit of a border. It looked a little straighter, I thought, when I started, but we'll try to shift it while the glue is still a little bit wet.
Candy says no, catching football and staying home.
That sounds fun too, Candy. I'm not going to freak out that that's a little bit wider because when it's open, you're not going to be able to tell too much anyway. What was that?
Scrapping football and relaxing.
That sounds like fun. Okay, now this paper that I've just got all glued up and haven't even said anything about, sorry about that, is cut to 4 1/4. And this paper is from our Baked Fresh paper collection. That is the paper that is found also in this month's inspiration box, which I highly recommend. It is a darling box. There are so many cute things in it. You've got your paper, you've got ribbon we'll be using later. You get sequins, you get conversation clippings. These come in A2 size, but I cut them all down already. You get a selection of paper that's like full 8.5 by 11 layering cardstock and a piece of glitter stock. And then of course you get your wonderful stamps and dies, 6 by 8 size. So you definitely need to check that out. Tons of cute little pies this month. Okay.
Family pictures of his daughter's family. She wants some fall family shots.
Who's doing that?
Penny.
Penny, that's a great idea. I know fall is a nice time to get pictures done.
We've done it before. Fall.
Yeah, we our last family photos, which were way too long ago, were done in the fall, and I agree. That's a nice time to do it. Okay, so I should tell you, I cut these out. I just had a scalloped square in my stash that I liked, and then I cut it just a strip out of that same die. It just wasn't a whole piece of paper, if that makes sense. So I'm going to cut it down so that this is how the paper was before. It was this wide, and I just used it with my die that way so that I would know it was exactly going to match up on the sides. But now I'm going to cut it down just a little bit. How many people are going to be in your family photo, Penny?
Your daughter's family.
Her daughter's family, okay. Let's try this first, and then we'll see what we think of this. All right.
There's 4. Her daughter's son-in-law and the 2 grandsons.
Oh, 4 isn't too bad. That's good. Sometimes I know that, like, when you get a ton of people, it can be tricky. We've done that. big family photos. And then you just pick the one that is the least scary sometimes. Okay, let's see what we think of this. So, I'm just going to leave that there for a minute. And we're going to go on to a different part. Hi, Robin. How are you? You can just see a little preview with the pieces, but we're going to actually make one of these right now. So I'm going to take the s'more that's all assembled for what we're doing right now. I have one that's not assembled that we'll use on the tag that's going to match this. But for now, let's work with the full-on s'more. And I'm just using my Raven ink. And like I said, if you have the dies for this, that will make everything even faster. So keep that in mind. Oh, let's do it one more time just because I kind of almost feel like I have to. It's just instinct now to do it twice. Now, you notice I didn't stamp it on white. I stamped it on like kind of a craft because I don't want to do more coloring than I need to tonight. And this makes kind of a graham wafer color. We're going to warm it up a little bit with some pencils. And that will take out a lot of the coloring right there. So I've just got my Prismacolor pencils. I've got burnt ochre and goldenrod. So I'm just going to start just kind of warming up the sides a little bit. I just want to make it look, want to bring out the warmer tones rather than the grayer tones. And I'm only just giving it a very light, you notice I'm light-handed with it. I'm not coloring hard because we don't want hard lines like that. We want like soft, blendy lines that are easy to blend. Blendy lines, that's a technical term I hope that you are all familiar with. Okay, and then I'm just going to go across the edges a little bit. And I am using a little more pressure for the bottom because we're not going to do a whole lot with that little narrow area. So I'm good with just making it dark enough. And I hope that the camera's picking this up. I'm coloring, like I said, fairly light, and I'm just trying to add a little bit of warmth. And now I'm just going to add just a little bit of more color in there, just a tiny bit here and there. What was that, Darren?
You can see it.
Oh, good. Thank you. We're almost done with that. Okay, so I feel like our graham wafer looks enough like a graham wafer. Okay, so now I'm just going to, I'll go ahead and do the chocolate, and then we'll go on to the marshmallow. So I've just got my alcohol markers here. And I will start with my lighter color. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take this darker color and go along the edge. There's not a whole lot of chocolate showing, so I'm not going to get super blendy or anything on these. Can you hear my dog wants to come in? Where's Benji? Oh, well, you ask a question, you get an answer, right? Okay, so now I think it's time for some fun. What do you guys think? I think we need to make it look like toasted marshmallow. So if you have not used it before, this is a really fun embossing powder that BrutusMonroe carries. This is called Marshmallow Puff, and it is created to puff out once you add heat. And so we're going to use that on our marshmallow, and then we'll make it look a little bit toasted as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an embossing pen.
Jerry says hi.
Carrie did?
Jerry
did. Hi, Jerry.
says, what are we making tonight?
Jerry, we are making a little kit for s'mores. Okay, so you can see I'm just kind of coloring where our marshmallow will be. We're using the Marshmallow Puff embossing powder. And if, like I said, if you haven't seen it before, it's really fun because it puffs up. And that is the perfect name for it. Okay, now what I should have done, I always love to start a phrase that way, is I should have done this ahead of time. But I'm going to try to kind of get a little bit in there. But I should have done this beforehand because this makes it so that the embossing powder does not stick where you don't want it. But I think I've got enough of it on there that we're okay. All right. Did I do it up there? I don't know if I did, actually. Okay. So now I'm taking the marshmallow puff and I'm just going to sprinkle that on there. And I'm just going to kind of let it set up a little bit in there. Really saturate into that embossing ink, which I think I've given it plenty of time for that now. Now I can see where I need to wipe it off a little bit. And we didn't do too bad, but I am going to clean it up just a little. So these are just rubber tipped brushes that you can find in the art section at your local shop. And I use these when I get embossing powder where I don't want it. A lot of people use paint brushes too. But I like these because they don't have the bristles to kind of fan out. So I can control it better. You can also use paper blending nibs. I don't know if they're called nibs, but the little blenders that you use with, do I have one here? I don't think I have one up here, or I would show it to you. I know there's like a blending stump. I know sometimes they're called. And let me just get a little bit finer. You can see all of that kind of raggedy looking edge is now much cleaner. Thank goodness. But you can avoid all that much easier if you remember to use your magic embossing powder bag. I think that's what it's called. Okay, now we're ready to add heat to this. And we can see all the fun that happens with that. And I'm going to hold it up closer because that's really the fun part with embossing. Ooh, looks like marshmallow to me. Okay. Yay. I guess if you left it on there, usually you don't want your embossing to catch fire, so I wouldn't recommend it. But, you know, at least in this case, if it started turning brown, it would just look toasty. Of course, you also would run the risk of catching it on fire. So I, like I said, would not recommend that. Okay, so now to make it look a little bit toastier, I'm just taking my blending brush. I have kind of just used this one just for brown. And I am not even going to add ink to it. I'm just going to use the ink that's on my brush. But if you have a brush that's brand new and you need a good brown, I would recommend using Gur from Simon Hurley.
Jerry said, I wonder if you could use that as whipped cream on the DOTM.
Absolutely, you could use it with the die of the month. That would be really cute. It would be perfect.
I'm glad you know what that meant. Couldn't think of it right away.
Yes, this works great for whipped cream. It works great for snow. It is so much fun. It's great for icing when you're making like gingerbread. You definitely need this in your crafty stash, I'm telling you now. And I am going to add a little because I want it to be just a little darker because I want it to look how I make my s'mores. Thankfully, I don't catch them on fire. I used to when I was little. Now I just like them that kind of golden brown. Which, iced oatmeal, I think it's called. No, it's called cookie dough. Sorry. Cookie dough is another color by Simon Hurley that is a little lighter. that you could do that one and then this one too, and that would be a good color for making toasty looking marshmallows. Okay, so now just to be sure that it's all in there and not going to get on anything, I just kind of burnish it in there with my finger. Okay. All right. So now I already cut this out so that you wouldn't have to sit here and watch me cut it out. So I've got 3 of those. And then I have one, I did all of the little pieces, because the set, let me show you the set again. You've got your full s'more, and then you've got all of these pieces. And I will tell you that I had an idea I wanted to do, but I didn't have enough surface space. I think it'd be so cute to just do something with like a plus sign in between, and then do like an equal sign and have your full s'more over there, or however you end up formatting that. I just think it would make the cutest card. And I may have to do that at another time, but you know.
S'mores instruction.
Yes, you need some more instruction. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this down. This looks like 2 inches. So I'm going to cut down this scrap that's from my, I guess I could show you that paper pad too. This is the Baked Fresh paper pad. You can see it's got all these nice warm plaids, and they're all double-sided. So you've got all of these colors to choose from. And I think this, yeah, this is the one that I chose. Super fun. And then I didn't really show you anything for very long, did I? I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to move right into it. This is the Simply Sweet die set. We used this one. And then let me show you really quick. If you wanted to use that other die, this die, this is the edge that you would get doing the same thing. So if you don't want a scallop, if you want something a little more sophisticated or a little less busy, that would work really good. Okay, and then right now we're about to use some things from the Occasional Tags. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Occasional Tag set. You can see it's got all of these fun tags. It's got a little gift card holder that you can use, and then these are one of my favorite things, that it has these cute little tiny borders. And so I used one of those to kind of mimic the scallop we've got going on, and we're going to use that on our tag. And the tag itself is also from that set. So let's go ahead and cut this down to 2 inches. And I'm just doing that off camera because I'm trying to save a little space. Kind of running out of space over here. Okay, so we've got that cut down. We need to cut this down to 2 inches. A little teeny skinny die. Okay. And now, let's go ahead and just stick them on. Actually, you know what? First thing that we need to do, thankfully I remembered this time. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm using my embossing, magic embossing bag. Is that what it's called, Darren? Darren?
What?
Is it the magic embossing bag?
Caught up to me now, Shannon.
Okay.
It's called the magic powder bag.
Magic powder bag. I got magic in there. Okay, so now let's take this guy off. I'm going to use this sentiment. It says, "The world needs more people like you." And I'm going to use that on my tag. And hopefully that's pretty straight. Okay. We're about to find out. Let's see if I can tell by the grid. Sometimes even the grid isn't enough to help me. I think it's a little bit crooked, but not too much. I think it'll be okay. So I'm just going to use some of the BrutusMonroe embossing ink for this. Surprise, Darren. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that one.
I asked you.
I know, I know. Okay, and now I'm going to switch up my powders, and I'm going to use some alabaster for our sentiment. Surprise again. I don't think I told you that either. We'll let that kind of sit on there for a sec. Okay. Okay, so now our sentiment will stand out nicely. I don't want to touch that too much because it's still warm. Don't want to smear it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get our little borders on there. We'll put them about right there. And then we'll just put a little line here. This is barely art glue. If you have ever used it, then you know how awesome it is and how great the little fine tip on the end is for stuff like this. Okay, so now let's build our s'more that is in pieces. So let's see, let's kind of map it out a little bit. See how we want to line it up. I kind of like it right there. I think something like that.
Kristen says hi.
Hi, Kristen.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. Okay, so let's start assembling this. And I think I had it kind of like that. Let me see. Might need to come down just a little bit. Now we could add some dimension, but I think I'm just going to use glue today for this guy. I think we'll use some foam for the other ones. I want to make sure we can still see the chocolate. And if we need to, we can add foam. I just was thinking it might be getting kind of far from, no, it'll be okay, I think. Let's do that. Maybe up a little higher. Yeah, we want it to be a nice, big, chunky s'more. Okay, so we've got our tag. We can set aside for a minute. Actually, I think well, I'll do that after. We'll just set that aside for a second. Okay, so now we can assemble this guy. But I want to look and see how we're going to want to lay it out first. So I was thinking I would do like stack the two and then have one kind of on the side, possibly. And then let's see where we're going to want these.
Double-decker s'mores.
That's right. I am not the greatest at lining letters up. So I kind of want to have a practice run. And my dies didn't have the little apostrophe, so we're just going to be okay with that. So maybe we need to move them up just a little. And I also want to make sure how far, yeah, that'll work. That will work. Okay, so hopefully I can do that again. All right. Have any of you started on your holiday cards or holiday projects? I think that one's a tiny bit more narrow, so I'm going to put that one on the top. Okay, so I think we'll put the letters on first because I think that's going to be the trickiest part. And lots of little pieces, so I'd like to just get them off my table. Nobody started their holiday crafting?
No one said anything.
Well, at least I'm not alone. Oops. Let's do the end.
Jana says this is so cute.
Oh, thanks, Jana. Benji saw all the makings for s'mores and he got pretty excited. So I guess I know what we'll be doing sometime this weekend. Do you guys have a favorite dish that just reminds you of fall that you have to have every fall? Whether it be a treat or a actual...
said she had knee replacement 4 weeks ago, but finally made it to my craft room and made some fall cards today.
Oh, that's wonderful, Jerry. How are you feeling?
Recrafting again is the best medicine.
Absolutely, Jerry. I agree with that. Mentally and physically, it's the best medicine. Crafting is. Sorry, I'm just in case everybody didn't hear what the conversation was. Okay, so we've got our letters on there, and I think we did all right. I'm certainly not going to get a ruler out and measure them. I'll feel good about it. Okay, and then, okay, so let's put this little guy on the bottom. And I think we'll use tissue tape for that. Easy tear tape. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. So we'll do the same thing for this one, and then the other one we'll put up on some foam so it has a little, it stands out a little bit. And I kind of like them wonky. I like them kind of crooked and like they're falling over, probably because that's how I operate. I'm a little wonky. Okay, so now
The marshmallow doesn't cooperate anyway.
that's very true. The marshmallow does kind of go rogue on you sometimes, huh? Okay, do you want that? That, I think like that. Let's go with the wonkiness. Okay, so now let's add this to our little bag. Okay, so now there are a few different things we could do. We could just, I kind of want it to come off to the side. So otherwise I could have just tied, poked holes and tied a ribbon through that. But I think I'll just put a ribbon on the tag itself and then we'll just clip it. So let's do that while we're waiting to make sure that that's dry. Do we want the brown or do we want the orange? I think we'll try out the orange and see how it looks. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like the orange. It just brightens things up. So maybe I'll try getting it so that both ends are, there we go. So we see the print on both sides. All right, let's fill our little bag. So I want you to know one of the most exciting things is that a package of graham crackers is just exactly right for the bottom. So we can go ahead and add those to the bottom. And then I just grabbed a couple of candy bars, and those actually can fit either on either side. I kind of liked it on either side because it just kind of makes the bag stand up straight. And then I've got some marshmallows. Make sure I put it on the right side. And then if you wanted to, you could add a little bit of, let's see if I have any that's the right color. I have some green. I think that's too bright. Let me see if I have, I thought I had some brown, but I'm not sure if I do. If you'll give me 2 seconds, I can look. I've got blue, I've got red. Pretty much have any color but the one I need. Isn't that the way it goes? One more to check. And the answer is a big fat no. Oh, I'm glad I didn't give up yet. I found it. Okay, so I found some, whatever you call this stuff. What is this stuff called? Do you guys know? Bag filler is what I call it. What was that, Darren?
Shredded paper.
Shredded paper. So now it kind of fills it up a little bit better, and you can add more. Depends on your preference. I like it to show a little bit. I think it's kind of fun that way. There we go. I feel like that is just about right. So now we've got our little tag. You could, if you didn't want to use these going on the sides, they will fit across. It just expands your bag out a little bit. But I think we're just going to clip this on. So I've got a little bit heavier duty little wooden clips. And that is what we have. Crinkle paper. Okay, thank you. So there's our little s'mores kit, and I think that's just the perfect size to just leave on someone's doorstep or to give, you know, to a teacher or a friend or a coworker. And it's, you know, it's an inexpensive little way to say I love you or I'm thinking about you. And look how fun that is. And how fun is that embossing powder? And now we're going into the holidays, so you're definitely going to want some for your gingerbread and your cookies, anything that you're crafting like that. And like Jerry said, it would work great with the die of the month, which is Easy as Pie. Let me see if I've got that handy. I do. So Easy as Pie, you've got your little whipped cream that would look really cute on. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and show you one more time. And now I'll flip the camera so I can properly say goodbye to you. Okay. All right. You can tell the heat vent is right above me. I just noticed I'm looking a little flushed. I don't feel too flushed, but I look flushed. All right. Well, I hope that you had fun and that maybe you're inspired to do something.
Cute.
What was that?
Kristen said very cute.
Thank you, Kristen. I hope that you're inspired to create something fun this weekend and that you have a safe and happy Halloween. And I will be back next Friday with a new project. I will talk to you then. Thanks so much. Bye.